All right, Nick. Obviously, we just talked about it a little bit, but it's Cooper Flag Day. I mean, if you watched even 1 second of the NCAA tournament, you know anything you need to know about this kid. But what are the Mavericks like about him? What is there to be excited about for him?
Man, what is there not to be excited about with Cooper Flagg? He's really good at everything. Like his dad was talking about how he's going to fit with the Mavericks, and he said, our guy can plug any hole. Talking about how good the Mavericks can be next year. And honestly, like I believe him. I think he can do pretty much anything in the NBA. You can ask him to run a pick and roll as the ball handler. You can do that. He can be the screener and roll to the rim. He can do that. He shot 38% from three in his first year at Duke, and that was a big question coming into his season. Is he going to be a good 3-point shooter or not? And he proved that he can do that. He can do so many things. And he's elite defensively. He can do so many things defensively too. Like that's where he really gets his money there is on defense. And so I think that you just be excited about what this guy is going to bring, and then the mentality, the relentless motor, the competitive edge that he has, the want to be great. He recently said in an interview that his his comparison to himself is Kawhi Leonard. He wants to be elite on both ends of the floor. Like that's what he wants to be, and to have that kind of like mentality and the want and the drive while also having been this, number one pick and the best player in the class for so long for him is like a really rare thing.
What kind of a like it's such a crazy turn of events because obviously the Luca thing happens and the season goes the way it goes. Kyrie happens, AD can't stay healthy, and then when it's all said and done, y'all wind up with the first pick. I mean, what's it kind of like? What kind of kick in the butt is it to this franchise? Like for the fans, for the team. I mean, for the guys, because I imagine that the season goes the way it goes, and then they see the ping pong balls fall the way they fall and they get the number one pick. They say, okay, wow, what kind of spark does that potentially provide, do you think?
Yeah, it's less a kick in the butt and more of a life preserver. He's just really, literally got it thrown out to them as they were drowning in the sea, because before this pick was going to be Cooper Flag, they had this 3-year window. They had this, now that Kyrie is, reportedly agreed to his deal of 3 years. They had these 3 years of Anthony Davis, Kyrie on the same timeline. They had Nico Harrison, who also has this 3-year timeline. It's very rare to hear a GM talk about his own timeline and congruent with like the players too. Usually the GM assumes that they'll be there for the rest of time, right? And so that was just a very interesting thing that we were looking at. And after those 3 years, we didn't really know what the future looked like for the Mavs. You think Derek Lively will still be on the team, and then after that, you really did not know. Maybe whatever this first round pick was going to be. And now it ends up being Cooper Flack. And so now you have this 10, 15, 20-year plan potentially in front of you with the new, like starting over this life cycle of a superstar with Cooper Flack. And so it changed everything, right? Like you could talk about all the different ways that it has changed, but the franchise has completely changed now, because now they have, not only are they acquiring the best player that they could have potentially acquired, like with the means that they had, with the cap the salary cap that they have, the trade assets that they have. Cooper Flag is the best player they could have potentially ever hoped to get, like for this season, and then obviously you think about in years down the line.
Yeah, man. And I mean, you mentioned the Kyrie extension, I guess. I was going to ask, just kind of your reaction to that. Declines the 1 year to extend a little bit. It's a little lower on the AAV, but gets the 3 years.
Yeah, it's a great contract, I think. He's going to miss a bunch of time with the ACL, but for Kyrie Irving to sign that deal, the 3-year, $119 million deal, the first year of that deal allows the Mavericks to be below the second apron, and the second apron is a level in the tax. So you have the salary cap, then you have the luxury tax, then you have the apron, then another apron. And if you're in that second apron, you're restricted in so many different ways. You can't trade more than one player at a time. Like you can only trade one player out and get players back. There's all kinds of other different restrictions. So many teams are trying to get out of it. That's what we see the Celtics being so aggressive, trying to get out of the second apron right now, making their trades. And so for the Mavs to be able to do that just with that Kyrie contract was kind of a godsend, like an incredible move for them to be able to do that. And for Kyrie to take a little less, he could have just taken his player option, which is going to be 43 million. And this, with this deal, he's probably going to make 35, 36, 37 million in the first year. And that completely took them out of the second apron, which allows them to do a lot more things flexibility wise. And then they keep Kyrie on a deal that everybody I think is going to be positive about, which is not something we talked about when the Mavs first traded for Kyrie or even when they re-signed him the first time. It's just an incredible look at how Kyrie has revitalized his image and has just been a great leader and stalwart for the Mavericks.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of along with that point, I was gonna, say it is amazing the way he's turned his image around, and again, bringing things back to Cooper Flag. I'm kind of just thinking about, bringing this team together of, this new kind of veteran, the true Uncle Drew, Kyrie Irving, who's going to take the rookie under his wing kind of thing. I mean, how exciting is that? How I don't know. To me, I'm obviously not a fan of what Nico Harrison did. He didn't deserve this pick, if you ask me. It really, y'all did. The fans did for sure, but Nico Harrison didn't. But I mean, how exciting is it for the things to kind of just fall the way they have? I mean, this kind of makeup is potentially, knock on all the wood, a championship makeup if everybody stays healthy, if everything goes the way it potentially could or should.
Yeah, if you believe in basketball gods, this is them paying the Mavericks fans back for what happened to them with the Luka trade and everything that happened with that. And so, yeah, we can discuss if Nico Harrison deserved for this to happen. 1.8% is still 1.8%. It can happen basically 2% of the time. That is not zero, right? And so this was always on the table. Talking to some of the people that were in the room for the lottery here is just hilarious hearing how just the oxygen just left the room. Everyone gasped because they just couldn't believe what happened. Not only did a team with that low of odds jump up, Dallas Mavericks, who just made that crazy trade, went all in on winning right now and then got the best long-term prospect that you could have potentially ever wanted, even in the last, 5, 10 years or so. Victor Wembanyama is maybe the only other one. But man, to have such a safe and talented player in Cooper Flagg. And young too. He's the youngest player in college last year. He's coming in, he's gonna be 18 years old. So when I talked about that timeline of the 3 years, by the end of that timeline, Cooper Flagg will be 21. There's some players in this draft that are 24 or 25 years old.
That's unreal to think about. That I didn't realize that honestly that he was the youngest player drafted. Man, I'm happy for y'all. I'm happy for y'all for sure. Man, that's awesome. Cool. Well, I mean, I think that's kind of all I got. I wanted to ask you about Kyrie, obviously. Wanted to ask you all about Cooper. Yeah, I mean,
They
and
just did the Gafford move. They're looking for guards. I don't know if there's anything else you want to hit on those, but
um, I don't know. I guess, well, I guess obviously because it's draft day, that's kind of at the top of mind for me. They only have that first overall pick. Do you see them making any moves to, I don't know, get anything later in the first round, in the second round, or anything like that?
yeah, the Mavericks are actively looking to get back into the first round for sure, and so that's something that we know that they're trying to do. They're trying to look to see if they can get maybe another a guard. There's a bunch of guys that have been talked about, a Nolan Traore or a Walter Clayton Jr. There's guards that are late in this draft if they can get back and get a pick. You have teams like the Brooklyn Nets that have 5 first round picks now. I don't think they're taking all those rookies to camp, and so there are opportunities for the Mavericks here to get another first round pick, and so we'll see if they actually are able to do that or what they have to give up to do that, but they are looking. And so I expect the Mavericks to be active. I don't think it's just going to be a Cooper Flag at one and then we sit the rest of the night like twiddling our thumbs.
Good. That's good. Man, all right. Cool. Well, I think that's all I got for you. I'm gonna go ahead and
Good deal.
stop the recording.